Hello, everyone. I'm Brett Lewis from L4 Group, and today we're talking about the Middle East and what impact the conflicts in the Middle East may have on oil prices here in the United States. And I have with me Steve Ohl, who's a heating expert from RF Ohl. Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, thanks. So it seems like every time I turn on the news or I'm listening to it on the radio, there's conflicts being reported from the Middle East, and it's dominating the news coverage lately. There's a lot going on in that part of the world, from ISIS or ISIL or whatever they're called, to Al Qaeda and offshoots of Al Qaeda, and it's just the threat of a nuclear Iran conflict between Ukraine and Russia. The list just keeps going on and on. So it got me thinking about oil prices here in the United States. So and if those conflicts have any impact on pricing. So Steve, let's start off with this question. Do you see Middle East conflicts impacting or affecting domestic oil prices this year?
Uh, it does not appear to be having any effect on oil pricing right now. Um, in fact, the price of oil has been decreasing lately, and it's partly attributed to the increased domestic production of oil and other external factors.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've actually noticed that the price of gasoline for my car has been going down. I've noticed that. So that's an interesting phenomenon. And do you think that the threat from ISIS is something to be concerned about when it relates to oil prices? Because that's a fairly new conflict, and who knows where that's going to end up going. What's your view on that one?
Uh, I don't think so. Not in the current state. Iraq may be in trouble, but about 90% of its oil is produced in the south near Basra, which is fully under Shia control, or in the north under Kurdish control. So only about 10% is produced near Mosul, and it's now under control of an Islamic State.
Okay, interesting. So if ISIS expands further or starts to cross other borders, then maybe that might have a impact. That I guess who knows at this point. It's kind of like you say sometimes with oil pricing, it's like predicting the weather, right?
Yeah, 50-50 shot, and in this case, you have all the different countries involved and all the different groups. So yeah, you have maybe a 1 in 20 shot of being right instead of a 1 in 50.
Right, exactly. So now this isn't necessarily the Middle East as we consider it, but the conflict, the border conflict in Russia and Ukraine. Do you see any kind of impact with that skirmish?
No, it appears as though the conflict is not going to escalate into, some kind of a full-scale war, and it will remain to be contained, contain the conflict. At least that's the way the markets are assessing the issue. And while the sanctions and the counter sanctions between the West and Russia have increased, they're not causing significant economic and financial damage to the U.S. More important, Russia has not cut off the natural gas supplies to Western Europe, which would be a major shock for dependent EU economies.
Yeah, I guess that natural gas supply to the EU has got to have those countries a little bit worried. Uh, like you said, I guess it's right now it's pretty confined, and I think the whole world is kind of just like while they're concerned about what's going on there, they're letting Russia and Ukraine battle it out and staying on the sidelines at least for now.
And one of the good things is that the North America and America, the U.S. in particular, has a lot of natural gas reserves. So that's actually a pretty impactful thing for the whole world economy right now, where before it was mainly the Middle Eastern and Russian countries controlling a lot of energy sector. Now, it's kind of shifted.
Right. Interesting. And also domestically, isn't the production of oil hasn't that been increasing lately?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's. I think they, I don't remember the exact uh, wording, but it was, soon we're going to be. I think we already had a point where we were a net exporter of oil, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is. That is because I know everybody's thinks about we get all our oil from the Middle East. That's not really true. I mean, we actually produce quite a bit and consume our own. So now, what about any other Middle East conflicts? Do you see anything else that may cause oil prices domestically to spike?
The only thing I see like an ongoing, and this has been ongoing for years, is if Israel and Iran go to war, then it's a strong possibility. However, this is a risk that's contained for now by the ongoing international negotiations with Iran to contain the nuclear program, and that'll probably be continuing. I'm guessing in our lifetimes. It just seems one of those things that are always on the cusp. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably our lifetimes, our kids' lifetimes, and then probably their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's crazy. So yeah, that well, at least this gives us some insight from an oil perspective and pricing, kind of what to expect and this winter. I mean, you want to talk a little bit about what the general consensus seems to be as far as the weather forecast for the winter?
The forecasts I've been seeing is, for a colder than normal winter. Now, before everybody gets, all in a panic about that and they think it's going to be like last year, that doesn't necessarily mean it'll be colder than last year. It's pretty much how that's calculated is it's a 10-year average. And basically what it boils down to is in that 10-year average, they feel that this coming winter will be about 2 to 3 degrees cooler than the normal 10-year average. So if you think about that, 2 to 3 degrees probably isn't going to be, a big impact. It's not like it's 20 degrees difference. It's still going to be significant over the course of the year, and you probably won't feel it. There may be those days where you have a week's worth of temperatures that are way below normal, and then you'll have times, like in January where it's 60 degrees. It's an average. So, I'm not a big doomsayer, but I look at what those things are, and it's like you mentioned earlier, it's a forecast. How many forecasts ever come true? That's that's debatable. So it's the best of science and the best of guessing is really what it comes down to, and that's how the weather is forecast. So we take it for what it is. We always prepare for what we think is adequate to cover any hiccups. And I mean, we got through last winter, so we'll get through another, if it's a lower than normal winter average temp, we'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, and again, like you said, it's an average. Between that and looking at pricing, again, and that's a forecast as well. Where prices, are trending. So, basically, the point is for people not to get concerned about oil prices spiking and extremely cold winter. It just that doesn't seem to be where we're headed.
Yeah, I mean, all of the guys, and women that own heating oil companies, they all wish heating oil was 50 cents or $1 a gallon. It's heating oil companies and propane companies, they don't make any more per gallon when the prices are up than if they were at 50 cents or $1. We'd much rather it be a lower price. So we're all keeping our fingers crossed too, and hoping that pricing even comes down more than it is. So.
Yeah, that's a great point. So I just Steve, I want to say thanks for shedding some light on this topic for us. It's certainly helpful. I know I learned some stuff doing this interview, and why don't you give everybody your contact info in the event that they need to order fuel. Also talk about your service area, where you cover, and make sure you give everybody the phone number and web address to your website.
Sure. We're located in Lehighton, Pennsylvania. The address is 400 Interchange Road. That's right next to Wentz Auto Body on Route 209. Our phone number is 610-377-1098. Our website is www.rfohl.com. We're also available through our Facebook and Twitter, which you can find links right on our website. If you'd like to email us, the email is info@rfohl.com. And we cover about a 50-mile radius of Lehighton, which includes most of the 5 counties surrounding Lehighton, which would be Carbon County, Monroe County, Lehigh County, Northampton County, Schuylkill County. And we cover about 82 zip codes within those counties. And we touch on a few other counties, so if you're not quite sure or you don't see your zip code, just give us a call, email us, Facebook us, however you'd like to contact us, and we'll let you know if we can help you out.
Awesome, awesome. I just want to say also that the phone number and the link to your website and your Facebook page and all of that, all that is in the description below this video. So thanks for putting that out there as well. So Steve, thanks again for taking time out of your day to discuss this topic, and have a great day.
All right, you too. Thanks.
All right, take care.